Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
As always, the Ramble is sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. If you're a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. Thank you for John and the team for their continued support for the Ramble. Today's Ramble is sponsored by Well-Stoned Landscapes. From lawn to luxury, creating outdoor elegance. Well-Stoned Landscapes covers most areas of Yorkshire. If you mention the Ramble when asking for a quote, you'll receive 10% off any work. Call Paul or find him on Facebook in the details below. What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is the warm-up. We are getting ready for the big one this weekend, Sunday. Oh, my goodness. How are we feeling? I'm okay. I'm okay for anybody that's concerned. I'm getting there. I've boxed off the Bristol City disappointment, which in hindsight is a very good point. So it's the manner in which it happened that I was annoyed with, but it's done. It's in the rear view. We've collected the point, and we move on to this game, which is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. There's a couple of things that I'm going to sort of chuck out there early on. I want you to get your comments in and let me know how you're feeling about it. I'm not going to be on my own tonight. If you've seen on X, I've let you know, and I think I'll let you know in the previous Ramble as well that we went live. But I tend to think the fact that they've had a couple of decent results recently and they're still in the race for, well, they think they are. They're still, in their mind, in the playoff hunt. I think that's better for us, because if they had nothing to play for at all and purely focused on this game, as you know, their season will be knocking us off course. Whereas if they get a point against us at home, even if we beat them at Hillsborough, it doesn't necessarily end their season tomorrow on Sunday. So I think that's in our favour slightly. Form goes out at window anyway. And to be fair, you could point to Wednesday having one last two and a really good, you have to give credit where it's due, a really good comeback win against Norwich. Game of two halves by the looks of it. But if you're talking about form, they've got second worst form in league at home, and we've got best away record at home. So you can either read into it or not read into it. It depends what you want to do. So anyway, as I said, I'm not on my own tonight. We've got James from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast coming on. And the referee tonight is going to be George Motson, who is cousins with James. So I'm going to welcome him as well. Welcome, pal. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
No worries, mate. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for reffing, George. I appreciate it, pal.
Got my whistle.
Yes, nice, mate. Nice. So, James, we were talking very briefly before we came on. How are you feeling, mate, ahead of the game?
I'm one of the very few that actually looks forward to a Steel City derby. And now I'm not saying that I'm not nervous. You know, come Sunday morning, I will be pacing around the house. I was just saying before, I'm glad it's a 12:30 kickoff, because had it been 3 or even later, you know, I don't think I'll be able to cope, to be fair. But, you know, yeah, it's the game you always look forward to, innit? You always look, when the fixtures come out, it's the one you look forward to.
No.
Jimmy, you're lying. You are lying.
I'm not saying I don't look for it on the calendar. I'm not looking forward to it at all. Not at all. Not one bit.
Well, I'm looking forward to it anyway. You know, mate. I think it's just the atmosphere. It's what football's all about. You know, you want them bragging rights. You know, whether you get them or not is another matter. But you want the bragging rights for everyone. And you know, I know you live a little bit further afield, Jimmy. But you know, living in Sheffield, family, friends. You know, cousin here, Jordan. That's you know, you want to give him some abuse and what have you. And obviously, you can only do that if you win the game. Yeah,
that's true. George, what's your thoughts on derby games, pal?
And my nerves are starting to kick in now, especially now we're starting to talk about it. Before I was fine. I had a couple of mates messaging me saying, "Are you nervous?" I'm like, no, I'm totally fine.
We weren't thinking about it, were we? We weren't even thinking about it.
Haven't we? Now that game's passed, and we're now starting to talk about it, and we're doing warm up. My nether region is starting to twitch a little bit. Is what I would say.
Mate, PG channel and all that, so let's not get too into detail. But so tonight it's a little bit different, the warm-up, because usually I do a Born to be Wilder, which is where we pick our teams. I'm going to pick my team and let you know where I'm going to play. I've gone back and forth on it, if I'm completely honest, and you'll see why when I go through it. But it's not a full Born to be Wilder as you'd expect. We've also usually got the Ramble rundown, where we ask an opposition, and James did it for us last time we played Wednesday, where we ask them for a breakdown, basically. I'll send through some questions to them. They'll report back on their team, so we get to know a little bit about the opposition. But tonight, for a little bit of a change, I thought it'd be fun if the referee, Jord Motson, asked his cousin what we can expect from the Wednesday night. So I'm going to sit back and hand the mic over to my professional colleague and see if he can grill his cousin on the Wednesday side and what we've got to expect from them. So over to you,
Jordan, bring it, mate. Bring it.
We'll start off. How'd you rate your season so far, James?
Do you know what? If he'd have said we'd be mid-table come end of the season, I'd have said that had been an okay season. Now, that's based on mainly from, staying up on last 8 season last year. I mean, as the season's gone on, and everyone said it was going to be a poor league, and I think that's, well, it's kind of played out, and to be fair, everyone's beating everyone, other than the top 4, which I know obviously you're in. You've kind of pulled away from everyone else, but everyone else is beating everyone, and you put a few wins together, and you will kind of jump up the league. So it's a weird one, because a lot of people are saying, if we finish where we are, it will be a good season. And I do admit that, at the start of the season. But the thing is, when you get so close, within 2 or 3 points from the playoffs, and you have such a poor January transfer window, bringing in, well, next to nobody really, nobody of any sort of
shout out Chantiri,
yeah.
Shout out Defon, top man.
Yeah, honestly, it was such a poor window, and I just think a massive opportunity missed, really, because I think with a couple of additions and a bit of luck with injuries and stuff like that, but not bringing a centre back in was absolutely criminal, to be fair. So to say how the season's gone, like I said, at the start of the season, I'd be happy with where we are. As it's gone on, I am a little bit disappointed with how we've not been able to push on, but it's not really things on the pitch, it's off the pitch, because I do believe that we're punching above us weight in terms of the squad level.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing the best, everyone's doing a good job, but they're just not good enough to get into that top 6, I don't feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that. I agree. Big question then. When's Danny Röhl leaving?
He's leaving last game of the season. I think the game before, well, to be fair, they should announce it just before the last home game, really. So he has a decent send off. And but because he's done great at us. I don't want it to be in the summer and everything else, but I feel, that's my honest opinion. I've said it on our podcast that I feel like that's going to happen. I did also say last night, I think there's one scenario where he might stay, and that's if we get either in the playoffs or just outside by a miracle and put a decent run together, and then the chairman then gives him some sort of budget. But I mean, those two things have to happen for that to take place, and I don't think either of them happen, to be perfectly honest. And if it did, if we did get close and he didn't have a budget given to him, I think it's again just a massive missed opportunity. As you can tell, I love the chairman. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
I do. I don't know if you do, but I do. He's been absolutely fantastic for you, Danny Röhl, hasn't he? He is getting the absolute maximum out of a limit, and this isn't a sideways dig. I think it's a limited squad. He's brought in a decent, a couple of decent players. I think your wingers are half decent. Shea Charles is obviously a good player. Barry Bannon, he's still getting a tune out of Barry Bannon, even though we don't like him. He's done an absolutely unbelievable. He's getting a tune out of Max Lowe, which we never did at our club.
Should have played him at centre back, mate. That's all I'm saying.
Well, apparently so. But what a job Danny Röhl has done, and it'll be a double bonus for us if we get what we want this season in terms of promotion, and then Danny Röhl leaves, because we know how important he is to you and what a job he's done for you. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough ask to replace him, isn't it, when he does eventually leave?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm worried about what who will be replacing him, because I do honestly feel like Chansiri's looked on this. He's got a bit of luck in terms of bringing him in. He looked at him before he appointed Xisco, but he was still in a job, so he's gone for the cheap option every single time. Obviously, he got sacked then from the German national side a lot, as assistant manager, and then he was available, so he came in. So like the stars aligned, but it could have been here before Xisco, and who knows what would have happened if. So do you know what I mean? So I do worry. You look at the appointments that Chansiri's made, and they've not all been excellent. And I know that never happens at any football club, but I'm just worried at what type of manager he's going to bring in. I don't want some like the a Jos Lukai, number 2. No, not a chance. I know this is you asking me questions. Yeah, no. He's gone. I know this is you asking us questions, but go on then. If you say you get promoted at the end of the season, would you have Danny Röhl, or would you stick with Chris Wilder?
Oh, stick with Chris Wilder every day a week. Every day a week. I think it's a bit of a unique situation because Chris Wilder's perfect for our football club, I believe. Not every Blade agrees with me, but I certainly do in terms of what we're doing, what we're trying to build, how we're building it. I think the job he's done this season is incredible, to piece the team together that he has done. I know there's parachute payments and things like that you'll probably come on to, but I think the job he's done has been absolutely fantastic. So,
Jimmy, let me just tick that on bingo card.
Yeah, bingo card. Yeah, get it ticked off. So, I want everybody knows that. But Jord, any thoughts on Wilder?
Yeah, it's not against Danny Röhl either, because
Röhl's not a good manager. Yeah, absolutely.
As you already mentioned, he's done a decent job at York, and he's got a tune out of players that are probably average. And if or when he leaves, is going to be a massive loss to you. But I've got to stick with Wilder. I have to. The job that he's done at us twice now. Yeah, all right, they were a bad season, and it was COVID season. But the job that he's done, and it turned us around from League One, classed at Premiership on not a lot of money, and got a tune out of players that were still League One, classed as League One players in the Premiership where we finished 9th. And then it's come back now. Overall squad, there's like 18, 19 new players, and we're second. And we have a chance of still going up top.
Don't get me wrong. If Wilder retires at the end of the season, to take Danny Röhl off you would be the funniest turnaround I've ever heard in my life.
I don't think Röhl would join us anyway.
No, I don't know. We'll give him a budget. So we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, go on, right. George. Back to your questions, pal.
What formation are you likely to play?
It could be one or two, to be fair. It's either going to be a 4-2-3-1, which I think is more Danny's preferred formation, or we'll switch to a back three and play a 5-3-2 or some sort of variation of that. To be honest, it does tend to chop and change as the game goes on. So it'd be highly likely that we see both of those formations, depending on how the game's going. To be honest. On Sunday. Like I said, he does prefer a 4-2-3-1. He plays with, I can't believe I'm saying this, Michael Ehekwe and Max Lowe as the two centre-backs. I mean, if at the start of the season, if you'd have said that that's the centre-back pairing, I'd be telling you, like, what's happened for that to even occur. Do you know what I mean? A left-back at centre-back and then a League One centre-back playing who really, should have been shipped off and replaced, to be honest. But, I mean, nothing against them both. They've been doing fantastically. There is limitations though there, but yeah, it's mainly down to the fullback situation. If he plays, if Paul Valentin comes on, he's more of a wing back rather than a fullback. Same with Marvin Johnson on the opposite side. Again, not really a fullback. So if they come on, then we have to kind of adjust the formation accordingly. Really. So yeah, one of the two, to be fair.
Is that what happened at Norwich then, James? Did he switch it up formation wise?
Yeah, he did.
When it weren't working.
Yeah, we did, yeah, and we went to a back three in the second half and brought Shea Charles off, actually, probably because he was one yellow card away from missing Sunday's game and everything. Joe, I didn't want him to start, to be fair. I didn't want him to start from the previous two games, to be honest.
Wrap him in cotton wool, get him there. Yeah,
but fair play, he played him, we didn't pick up a yellow card, and we were 2 knocked down at half-time, so yeah, that would have been the worst scenario had we have lost the game, and also Charles picked up a yellow card. So fair play. He came off, but yeah, we changed it, and I mean, partly us, partly down to Norwich, absolutely just collapsing. I've never seen a collapse like it, to be honest. But but yeah, you're right. It was a change in formation, and Danny's not afraid to do that. Half time, sub. If it's not working, if you're beating us at half time, don't. He's not one to just see how it goes for another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He'll make a change at half time,
Proactive.
and yeah, definitely. Which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I'm all for that, mate.
Nice one.
Yeah, you've got to try something, haven't you? If it's not working, like I say, why wait? Why get 10 minutes? You might as well change it. If you're 2-0 down, you might as well change it. And if they go 3-0 down, then he's changed it, hasn't he? But at least he's tried. So.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I'm all for that. Just make changes if you need to, and see what happens. I hate just as a fan, you can see it, can't you? You can. The eye test. You're watching the game and you're thinking, what are we doing here? Why is he still on the pitch? But yeah, and so yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. Who would you say is your main threat then in your side?
It'll have to be at the moment Jeddy Gassama. He's some player. Came from PSG. I mean, Cisco signed him, so he couldn't get a tune out of him, but Danny Röhl certainly can. He's one of those players that gets you on edge of your seat, which as a fan you always like players like that. His end product's been lacking a little bit. I mean, I coined him speedboat no driver for much of last season because he just runs himself down a blind alley, wouldn't really let go of the ball perhaps at the right time and run into a bit of trouble. But since this season he's bulked up quite a bit. He's getting in the goals as well. He's scored in his last two. Got the winner against Norwich, which is a goal. I mean, he got a goal against Norwich, which were like in the 6-yard box, a bit of a poacher's goal. And then he scored against Plymouth. He could have had another one. The own goal were down to him. Again, similar situation, putting pressure in the 6-yard box, and their man just got it all totally wrong. But yeah, he's starting to come into some form now. I think he's one of Danny's projects. He must be working hard with him to try and. He sees a lot of potential in him. There was him and there was Anthony Masaba, who were very similar. Now Gassama's just left him for dead. He's just now one of the first names on the team sheet, and certainly one that you need to look out for. I think in the reverse game at the Lane, in that second half, he had a couple of chances, and I thought you were going to bag one. To be fair, and I know you did a bit of a job on him, but he's certainly one to look out for on Sunday afternoon.
Just don't know whether he fits into Southampton's system, Gassama. It's just
he'll be going, mate. If if Danny Röhl goes to Southampton, I'm not mentally prepared to play him next season with Shea Charles and Jeddy Gassama and Danny Röhl and maybe Josh Windass as well. To be fair,
we'll do a watch along for that, Jod. No matter what league we're in, we'll do a watch along.
Can we invite James on as well at the same time?
Of course we can. Cause I don't think he'll show up, but he's more than welcome.
I'll be crying in a corner, I think.
So we've had who you think your main threat is. Who's the weak link in the side then?
Which one?
Who's the weak link? Well, he'll not be playing, but Ike Ugbo has been absolutely appalling this season. I mean, he's nearly on a par with Tom Cannon, to be fair. So, I mean, he's got the same goal scoring record of none.
Oh, has he got 10 in league? Has he got 10 in league this season, Ugbo?
No, he's got 2 in cup. I mean, the thing is, Cannon's goals were. I mean, they were in a red and white shirt. I know that.
Yeah, they were.
Look a bit closely.
In a worse team. So imagine when he starts fighting for us.
But they all count, don't they? They all count. He still scored goals.
They all count, mate. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you can say that, I'll go back to last season when Ikubo were scoring goals. So if you want to do,
how many did he get? About 6.
He got
2.5 mil for him.
He got 7 since January last season.
I'll tell you what, well worth £3 million, then, isn't it? Well worth that, or whatever you paid.
We had to scrape the barrel to. Do you know what? We've got PTSD from previous signings. So as a fan base, we were actually contemplating whether 2.5 million was actually worth spending. To be fair, not necessarily on him, just spending alone
in general.
So, yeah, in general. So it's all right with you with your parachute payments. Oh wait a minute, tick that.
Another one, tick that one off.
You realise you've got to get to Premiership to get them parachute payments, don't you?
Oh no, we can't explain this, Jod. Not so.
Premiership. How old are you, son? It's Premier League, mate.
Premiership. He's talking in language you'll understand.
Take Premiership back when you were in it, weren't it? So
I've teed you up for that one. It's a bit of an own goal, that one there, weren't it? Yeah, I get that, but it's even so, it's still not level playing field, isn't it? Really, we're worrying whether 2.5 million's all right, and you're just spending 13 million on someone who
You have already
can't
said
score,
that.
but
I mean, leagues. Did you say leagues average apart from top four were so much better than rest? So it's fair admission, isn't it? It's fair admission.
It is, but when you look at the budgets of those sides, it's not.
Look, well, Luton's
it,
budget
really?
ain't bad, is it? You're above Luton.
Well, they've spent all their money on that new stadium, haven't they? So they're a little bit of an exception. Although, to be fair,
you could do with that, couldn't you? You could do with that yourselves.
Well, so could you? You could do with a nice little lick of paint.
No, beautiful downtown Bramall Lane.
Back to the question.
Sorry,
Ike Ugbo is probably the weak link. I don't think he'll play, to be fair. He played at the Lane. I thought that was going to be the game that's going to kickstart his season on. I've said that kind of every single game. Like, I even put my hard-earned English pounds on him scoring as well, which that was just an absolute waste of time doing that, because he did nothing in that game either. So weak link is definitely him. I don't think this season, honestly, other than the first game week 2, 3, and 4, where we lost 3 in a row. Since then, we haven't been soundly beaten by anyone. I mean, most of the games. I mean, we have been. We got paced 4-0 by Burnley, but I don't know if you watched that, because I know.
I did. Yeah.
First half, we could have been 2 or 3-0 up. So we've been in every game and could have been winning. I'm not just saying that because I've got my blue tinted glasses on. There's been a lot that we've actually could have won, and had it not been for just poor finishing, it's not like we've just surrendered and just got battered in any of them. We've been there and thereabouts. So everyone's kind of been average.
Only game we wouldn't have minded you winning, and that was Burnley game. You played so well in the first half hour and then collapsed. So thanks.
Well,
thanks
Well, we didn't take his chances in that game,
no,
and then
didn't.
I think they just found us out in the second half. They made some tweaks and they knew what were going wrong, and then we couldn't really hold on to them. But should have been 2-0 up in that one easily. But that's that problem. So I look though, and I think we haven't been scoring many. And I look how many goals we have scored, and we have actually scored some decent goals. I just think we score when we shouldn't, but some of the chances that we should bury, we end up missing.
Don't.
It's just it's
frustrating, isn't it?
I mean, score from halfway. No, it wasn't even halfway line. When it score from in our own half, easy peasy. But when it comes to finishing from 6 yards out, it seemed to struggle.
That was some finish, that, to be honest. So how do you think the sides, are going to match up? So in terms of how do you see the game going as a whole? Who's going to dominate the ball? Will it be a physical, or do you think it'll be a tactical game?
I think it'll be a game of chess, a little bit like it were at the Lane, both sides just cancelling each other out. We're one of those where, both teams won't want to lose. I mean, there's never a decent high-scoring game. Don't mention that one at Hillsborough, please. But it's never. I said don't mention it. But
I weren't going to, but as soon as you mention that, I'm mentioning it.
But other than that, there's not been many where there's been that many. Certainly recently, anyway, they've all been boring 0-0, 1-0, and I feel like it's just because both sides don't want to lose. I mean, I suppose that those when when it finished 0-0, we were the massive underdogs and we had nothing going for us at all in those. So we just kind of sat back and tried to soak up all the pressure. Whereas I don't think that's going to happen on Sunday. We'll go out to try and win that game. So maybe it might be a little bit more open. I think where we could win it, just because of your injuries, is probably in the midfield. Shea Charles and Barry Bannon, if they can start pulling some strings, then I think that might be where we've got a little bit of more of an advantage. But defensively, we're so weak at the moment. It's almost like we just give up in terms of defending and trying, and like the Kevin Keegan way of just we'll just score more goals than you, really, which is a little bit concerning. Most of our Plymouth. Didn't score, but they had 3 or 4 chances in the first 5 or 10 minutes, all down our right-hand side, which were a little bit concerning. Both goals were conceded against Norwich came down that side as well. We were all a bit, at 6s and 7s. So
Marvin Johnson, isn't it?
Well, Marvin Johnson's on the opposite side. This is on the right.
Is he not left back? I thought you said it came down left-hand side. Your left-hand side.
Down our right.
You're
right.
Okay, sorry.
Right,
yeah.
So
is it Valerie that plays at right back then?
He's injured, so it's either Dom Iorfa or Paul Valentin at the moment. Dom Iorfa's been out injured for quite a while. I think he'll play actually on Sunday just because he knows what a Steel City derby is all about. He's played in a few himself, whereas Paul Valentin doesn't. He didn't play in the one earlier. Valerie played at the one earlier on this season, so I think this game needs players that have witnessed a Steel City derby, as many as you possibly can, apart from Liam Palmer. We can leave Liam Palmer out, to be fair.
Captain fantastic, isn't he? Is it Bannon or is it actually Palmer who's the main captain at club? Is he vice captain, Palmer?
Palmer's vice captain, yeah. Great stalwart. He's done fantastic. The goal he scored, obviously, against Peterborough, go down in history. But, when we're looking at the squad and looking at kind of wanting to progress and move forward, there's just a few players that we just need to move on from, to be fair. I mean, he's over 500 odd appearances, which is a, fantastic achievement for any player, really. You don't really see that, do you, in football much. We've got two of them in the two that you've mentioned. So
it's Bannon that's outlier, isn't it? Because he's still performing at his age, where you'd expect him to start dipping, and he's not yet, has he? Unfortunately. Yeah. So
I think we need to plan for post Bannon. To be fair,
would you give a new deal though? Would you give a new deal?
Well, I think we'd have to, because to go out and replace a Barry Bannon is going to cost money, and it's not money that we've got. Simple as. So we're gonna, whoever comes in is going to be of a lesser quality than him. So you'd have to give him a new deal, like you said. If his performance is starting dipping a bit, or he started missing games, I thought he'd be one of those weekend players and miss out on the midweek games. But he's not seen that. He runs 100 mile an hour, and there's no sign of stopping. So you'd have to give him a new deal, to be fair.
Yeah, I think you do as well.
Or 40, 50 grand a week, I think he has to be on, or is it a bit more than that, is it? According to Chris Wilder.
Well, he'll be right. Wilder don't get stuff wrong like that. So
all right.
I do agree. I do think you have to give him a new deal, purely because you're going to lose Charles, aren't you? He's not your player. So he's going to go back. So then, if you did lose Bannon as well, you're losing your two defensive midfielders there, and that'd be a massive loss, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, we ain't got any money to replace either of them, so I don't really know what happens next season anyway when Charles does go back to them. And again, like I said, I'm not really prepared for Charles coming up against us next season, to be honest.
Maybe Barry fancies retiring on South Coast. We'll never know. We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
He'll retire at Wednesday. He's absolutely nailed on, to be fair.
Yeah. We'll move on then. So what are your strengths and weaknesses that you see in United team?
Strengths, none. Weaknesses.
You can't do it, can you? You can't do it.
Strengths in.
Clip
in
this,
Sheffield
Jordy. We're ready. Strengths in United team.
I get it.
Well, if you're going to press me for any, it's just got to be the quality in players that you've got. I mean, I think if I'm brutally honest, if you had to do an 11 of United and Wednesday combined, I think Shea Charles might get in there. I think Jedi Gassama might get in there. Well, Shea Charles probably does get in there, and then there's maybe Gassama as a maybe, and that's probably it, to be fair. And that's been trying to be fair.
I think it's very generous of you from a Wednesday point of view.
Well, yeah, but who else are you gonna? Who else is gonna?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure Shea Charles gets in. If everybody's fit, I don't think he does, personally. Gassama might, because I think we struggle on right wing. Raksaki hasn't done it, so I think maybe that is the one that we look at. Shea Charles is a very good player, but would I take him over Vinny Souza or Gus Hamer, who can play in there, or Ollie Arblaster? Not sure I do.
Is Arblaster playing on Sunday?
No, he's not. Thankfully for you. Thankfully for you.
What a shame he's not playing.
Yeah. Can't put Bannon in his back pocket like he did last time, unfortunately. It'll have to be City instead.
Sydney Peck will be breaking Bannon's legs, won't he? So have to time to watch out.
Nah, City's firm but fair. Like a lot of us Unitedites, I suppose he's firm but fair.
Your weaknesses, probably referees not giving penalties, and probably I suppose a strength is that you can do wrestling tackles without referees seeing. Another strength would be a weakness. I mean, he's conceding late goals. I mean, I'm just playing out the
singular.
I'm playing about last 10 minutes of the game on
on
Tuesday night.
Like one game, this.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I were in Dreamland 3-2 win. You kicked off a little bit later. We were on red button, just pressed it onto TV, and perfect timing to see a goal from. from Bristol City, so that were wonderful.
We only went first with that result, so nightmare that.
Hey, look, you could and probably will be third come kick off on Sunday, so I can't wait to keep being those playoffs. The best scenario would be you to miss out on automatics and watch you. To be fair, I don't really care what the result is in the playoffs, just to see you squirm and just see the absolute meltdown from a United perspective.
Who would beat us in playoffs though? Because it won't be Wednesday, so who would beat us? Because you're not going to get in, are you?
Well, like I said, I don't really care what the ending's going to be, because just to see the absolute meltdown from the United fans, to see you go into the playoffs again, it's just absolute prime time.
What will be funny though?
It's a shame, isn't it? That's what you see coming down.
Playoffs, and then we won it. You'd think it's brilliant. Oh, they've missed out on promotion. We haven't actually, because we've just gone up through playoffs. So there's a first for everything, and this could be our time if it is.
It's not going to be.
You keep dreaming, James.
No, it's not going to be. Don't worry.
Your brother,
I mean, if you're going to say it, James, at least get right, cousin. What's your score prediction then, pal?
Score prediction. I'll stick with the same one that I've always gone with. I do actually fancy us, to be fair. I don't have that weird feeling that it's just gonna happen. I do think all the pressure is on United. I have to say, I feel like, you know, you need to be staying in the top two, to be fair. You don't want to be going in the playoffs at all. I feel like, as I've just been mentioning before, I know the bookies have got us as favourites, which I've no idea what's happened there. I think too many Wednesday fans have had a few too many sherries and put a couple of quid on them winning, to be honest. Or maybe it's all United.
That's on wall in changing room.
Or maybe it's all United fans going for that kind of win-win situation, putting a
safety bet.
Bet. Yeah, I think it could be that, to be honest. It's which is short on the odds. I don't know how that is, because I do feel like the more pressure's on you. You're probably in my eyes, you're the favourites to win. Just you look at league table to say that, to be honest. But I just have a funny feeling we're going to do something and beat you. We don't keep clean sheets at all. 9 we've kept all season, which is awful.
So you fancy yourselves to beat Michael Cooper twice?
I do, yeah. A 2-1.
Okay, best keeper in league, and you fancy to beat him twice?
Look, he's not kept how many games we played? 30 odd games. He's not kept clean sheet every game. So, but he can be beaten. And I think
you can.
I can see
a decent side. He can.
You'll take lead in first half in front of your fans, kicking towards the cop in the second half. 2 goals. Thank you very much.
There's every chance that we might play it and switch it. You know, toss, coin toss. They might switch it round.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you win coin toss, you're turning us round, and you're kicking in front. We're kicking towards cop in first half. I don't know if that would work or not, though. To be fair, in that game with that, with the atmosphere and stuff like that, and obviously we've got for what the one occasion or 2 occasions all season when we have fans in all 4 sides of the ground, which will be
rather than just the one stand that's usually got fans in and rest are empty. So
it's not Cardiff in FA Cup, mate. All right, so we'll have less.
It worked for
Link Cup.
It worked for Leon Clark, didn't it? That first.
It did work. Yeah, it did.
Well, he got 2 in front of Cop, didn't he? And then he sort of come back into it, didn't you? And you were bouncing, and everyone were buzzing for all 20 seconds where Mr. Bounce player Mark Duffy slotted it straight past Westwood at near post, didn't he? And it went quiet again then.
How on earth did he manage that?
Is that massacre, that 2-goal massacre that you had? Is that one?
I can show you a replay of it if you want.
No, I'm fine, mate.
You're good with that? Okay, I won't.
Yeah, I'm fine on that one. I mean, have you actually got it? Have you got it?
No, I ain't got it, mate. I ain't got it.
I should have said yes. I should have, to be fair.
We'll just reenact it if you want. We'll start bouncing, and then we'll stop.
To be fair, I've not forgiven Van Aken for the way that he broke his ankles in that game. George, Van Aken came in, and I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He played like a 60-yard diag in his debut, and I thought we have got a baller here. And I've no idea what happened to him. He just absolutely fell off.
Sat down, didn't he?
Off a cliff.
Yeah.
Did he not long retire after that? Did he get injuries?
He has retired. I think he retired at 29. Oh, he probably retired after that. He should have retired after that game, to be honest. But
we'll hang it on his honours board then. Yeah, Mark Duffy retires Van Aken.
How big is your honours board, by the way? Is it plural? Is it boards? Is that what it's good? Is that what it's going to be?
It's getting full at the moment, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is.
Where can we find you on social media then, pal?
At WTID Pod. He's on all the socials. Just search for the Wednesday Tie-Dye podcast. I'm sure if we beat you on Sunday, I don't think there'll be many people tuning in from a United perspective. I'm sure if you manage to beat us, we'll still be there, and I'm sure there'll be quite a few of you gloating in the comments. But happy days, broad shoulders. I can take it.
Good lad. Good lad.
Finally, what's your prediction then on where both sides are going to finish this season?
Teed him up here. Teed him up. I think we'll get about 8th. And United will finish 3rd.
That's what I'm expecting him to say, to be honest.
I know.
Do you want my head or my heart?
I want your head.
My head. So where I actually think you're gonna finish. I don't think you get top. I think Leeds, as much as they crumble every single year, I think this is probably their
too
year
much,
to
aren't they, this year?
top.
I think.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, you did go toe to toe with top at league, so I mean that's a good achievement. I heard that one. I heard Wilder said that in his post-match press conference. I thought another load of bollocks that he comes out with.
Family channel. We'll censor that first.
Rubbish.
Yeah, a load of rubbish. We did good toe to toe with him. We were better. If you didn't watch it, then more fool you because we were better side in first half. But anyway,
it's just that rubbish that he comes out with. Do you know what? Hate is a strong word. I hate the man.
I'm sure you do, because I would if I had if there were a staunch Wednesdayite that had brought so much success to Sheffield Wednesday, I would absolutely hate him too. But unfortunately,
it's not that though. It's not that. It's just the way that he acts. It's just the way that he acts all the time. Because
you'd love it. If that were a Wednesdayite, you would love it.
I disagree. I used to hate Warnock. I used to think I hated him. I actually quite like him, to be fair. Now, I think he's quite sound with the stuff he comes out with, and he has that mutual respect. I don't think Wilder has any respect at all. He's just I'll stop there because I couldn't.
He's not well liked, is he? He's not well liked.
There is United fans that like Warnock, but that's the difference between him and Wilder. Wilder for me is a proper fan. Neil Warnock isn't. He says everything. He calls us Sheffield half at time. Like, coming from this side, but our city, if anyone calls you Sheffield, you get annoyed. Anyone calls us Sheffield. So when you've got a United fan actually calling us Sheffield on telly, it's going to annoy you. And I think it's not a proper fan.
Never been a Blade.
Right. Go on then. Where are they going to finish? I think you'll probably finish second if I've got me in my head. My heart is obviously I'd love you to finish third. And where we're going to finish, I think we're going to be 10th or 9th, I think, realistically. I mean, look, if we're going to run, it's not saying it's not possible, but if I had to put me nail my colours at mast, I think we'll finish around about where we are now. Although some favourable fixtures, starting with you on
Sunday. Starting with Sunday. Unbelievable. Right, let's get some comments in. Jack says, evening, Jimmy, please, for the love of God, give us Gilchrist back and Sousa. These are scoring loads. We need to put away our chances and not sit back. We up performance. We beat these. Abdullah says, we're fortunate that all 4 games in a row from Preston have meant the teams get to stay in Sheffield. Hopefully we can use that to our advantage, build some momentum going into the final stretch. Bristol result was annoying, but 4 points from them is decent, very decent given our average performance in both games. I agree with that. We nicked 3 points at their place. I don't think the derby is a must win. It's a must not lose. So the lads keep believing. Evening, Jimmy, says Matthew. I think this is going to be a tough game. Got to be on it from the start. Just really hope Sousa's back. And any news on any right back being available for Sunday, and please holding an NL. So it's Wilder's press conference on tomorrow morning. We will be going live afterwards with Hot Off the Presser as per. So make sure you're here for that. It'd probably be around 9:30, I would have thought. Usual times. He's usually on at 9 o'clock for his press conference. Maury says this fixture makes me physically sick. See, you enjoy it, James. Not a lot of us do. I don't think a lot of Wednesdayites enjoy it. No, we're going to say because it's horrible, absolutely horrible. Ricky from Just United says, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Jimmy, the more I look at the squad, the more I think it's destined to be a 3-5-2. It suits everyone in the squad. Even Raksaki could play wing back. Ooh. It's like just to see for a few games to see if it's viable. Anyways, big win Sunday. Join me this Friday for all predictions. Up the Just United, up the Ramble, up the Blades. Like and subscribe. Ricky just absolutely buzzing off advertising off Ramble. Love that. Thank you, pal. Right. So since Ricky's called a 3-5-2, very quickly, George, because I don't want to keep James on a pure United conversation, but what are you going with for your setup on Sunday, George?
Usual 4-2-3-1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cooper in goal. I think Chowdhury at right back. I'm not sure Sariki will be fit enough to either start or complete a full game. It's got to be Holding and Anel. Left back Burrows. I don't think Vinny will be fit, personally. So I'm going Gus and Peck in middle. Diaz on right. No, probably, sorry, Raksaki on right. Diaz on left. O'Hare in middle and Campbell up top.
That is the exact same team I've picked, George. That is my team to play Wednesday on Sunday. So yeah, that's my. I think exactly the same. I don't think Vinny will make it. I think Gus Hamer comes into the middle because of that. I don't think Chowdhury worked in the middle particularly well the other day, which was a shame because we were all quite pleased when he came in. I still think there's legs in him as a signing for us. I think he's a good player, but it was way too deep against Bristol City. They controlled the middle, and we can't afford to let these control middle because two of their best players are sitting in the middle of the park. James, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but the Wednesday lineup has been leaked. So, look, I've got the Wednesday lineup. This is how they set up on Sunday. So we're going to have to watch out. These two in middle are really dangerous. Just watch out for them too. So if we can just bear in mind that this is what we're up against. It's a tough ask, but I think we should. And he's gone.
Love that.
So there you go, mate. We've got a little preview there of what we've got in store. Nerves of steel, Jimmy. We're forged in steel, says David. Times for Blades to show they have it. Up all the Rambles, up the mighty Blades. Like and subscribe. Let's go. Matthew's going Cooper, Hamza, Anel, Holding, Burrows, Ben, Peck. I think he needs to go. Souza. Ben.
It's got to be Diaz, isn't it? Ben Burton, Diaz.
Of course, yeah. Ben, Peck, Souza, Hamer, O'Hare, and Campbell. Okay, I don't think Souza's going to be fit. I hope I'm wrong. 2-0 Blades, Jeremy Beadle, Clanger. I'm up for that, Maury. I'm up for that. What has happened to James Beadle, by the way? Thought he was second coming of Chris Wood or something like that, but what's gone off?
Joe, I have no idea. I think it's been great for us all season. I think he's been a little bit let down with the defenders in front of him, really. But you look at his save percentage, it's not great, to be honest. But I think most of the shots he's been facing are kind of in the 6-yard box or 6-10 yards out, which is you're never really going to save many of them. He kind of saves the ones a bit like we score the ones we shouldn't score and miss the ones that we should. It's kind of a little bit similar situation with him, really. And I mean, the flag. I know it was a howler. It was a massive howler, but the flag that he got was kind of unnecessary, to be fair. And a lot of people saying that Pierce Charles should get given a go now. Obviously, young goalkeeper. It's mad. He's played more games for Northern Ireland national side than he has for.
That's farming, isn't it?
Crazy, I know. But I think he'll get his chance next season. But yeah, I think Beadle, great goalkeeper. He's not a finished article because, let's be right, if he was, he wouldn't be playing for us. And I think you have to say that for quite a lot of players. When they get a bit of stick, and you have to think, wait a minute, he's playing for Sheffield Wednesday. He's not in the Premier League yet.
Raksaki's been exactly the same for us. He gets some stick, and you think if he were consistent and played at an high level every game, he wouldn't be here, would he? So he'd be playing for Palace. So you're right, mate. Exactly. Absolutely right. Luke says nerves kicking in now, Jim. Even more so that I feel they have all the momentum after recent results. Naylor says, if I see Jack Robinson in the starting 11, I'm drowning my pet fish. Wow. Okay. It will be in starting 11, I think. That were my team and George's team to play, but I think Robinson will start, if I'm honest.
I think just on that, when you're saying about recent results, like we've won 2 on trot, and you won 2.
That's ironic, isn't it?
You won 2, and you've just drawn your last game. Like, I mean, before that, you'd won 4 in a row. So I think to say that the run that we're on, I mean, we haven't won at home since New Year's Day. So I think that's
second worst in league home record.
It is, I know, and we pay all that money for it as well, which is shocking. We should swap it for an away season ticket. It'd be all right, wouldn't it? But
you can't afford to, surely.
No,
Not with that man in charge.
No, definitely not. But I just think for, I think that's just United fans playing it down. It's literally recent results. You're just looking at the last result, and we all know that form goes out a window when it comes to this game anyway. So
it does.
I think that's just United fans trying to play it down a little bit, to try and
we don't do that.
Calm your nerves a little bit.
I think with us as well, though, James, is just about recent games. It gets to about 70 minutes, and we start to sort of sit back if we're 1-0 up, and fans get they get nervous from it, and it starts to worry us a bit. And I think it's happened quite a lot recently, and that's probably why we're all feeling a bit, or a lot of us are feeling nervous about it.
Yeah, well, you win every game by 1 goal, don't you? You're kind of on a knife edge every single time, and obviously, fortunately for you, you've held on and stuff, other than a couple of nights ago. But you don't really finish teams off, do you? Which I think, when if you're going back to kind of weaknesses and stuff, like that is probably a weakness, that you've not gone 2, 3,
gone for jugular, have we?
Yeah, you've kind of gone ahead, and then all right, it's worked, but
no, it's been a big criticism in fan base as well, that we haven't killed games off, and it's no coincidence that we've seen out something like 14 games now by a 1-goal advantage, but it don't make it any easy to watch. It's a skill to see games out like we have done, but it's a tough watch at times. Will says, I don't get nervous. I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? So Harry says, hi Jim, hope everything's well. Season defining game, properly worried. Hope we don't start Robbo, he's not good enough. Best away team going to the second worst home team. I want to see Femi at right back. Liam says, I wonder how many family Sunday roasts have been postponed this weekend in Sheffield. You're probably looking at one here on screen, to be honest, Liam. So L-Dog says, can't help but think they're going to beat us, Jim. Oh, I was hoping the Bristol game would fill us with confidence going into it, but for me, it's done the opposite. Oh, Dodgy Motson better have his coat on, says Will. There you go. That's a request live on stream.
What is this coat?
What's the coat, John?
Coat. It's a John Motson coat.
The sheepskin one.
Basically, sheepskin coat. And to be honest, on our other platform, on our other channel, I did say that if we got to 1,000 likes, I'll wear it. 1,000 likes and subscribes, I'll wear it. But we've got there, and I've not worn it yet. But I've said now, I'll wear it. On his last watch along this season, I'm going to wear it. So I've got to stick to my guns now.
He's going to get one of them mics where you hold it to your thing as well. Scott says, evening, Jimbo. While there have these boys fired up big time, I think so too. Even more after Tuesday. Anyone that thinks he won't give your heads a wobble. They've been poor at home, and we've been very good away. Up the Blades, up there. I don't think that form comes into it, to be honest, but I do think we'll be bang up for it.
I mean, to be fair, your coach travel, that's kind of made it into a bit of an away game, hasn't it, really? You've got to pay, about 25 quid to go 6 miles. Even driving up Parkway just to make it feel like an away game.
It's about wear and tear as you get closer to Hillsborough on roads. It's just, it kills vehicles, doesn't it? I went past it myself the other day. I thought, oh, horrible. Ricky says, I'm not worried about them man for man against us. They have nothing. Bit strong before game. Ricky. Paul says, we have to stop saying it's okay when the team underperforms from the standard we know. Middlesbrough and Leeds can't keep saying it's okay. We've got to win. Players and managers need to be held accountable. Ian says he can see the resemblance. There you go. Avril says, come on, you red and white wizards. Chris says, is it Sunday, 2:00? Yeah, I'm dreading it. Might go to a park from 12 till 2. Come on, you red and white wizards. Mark says, hang on a minute, aren't they brothers? No, cousins, aren't you? What's the relation? Is it through?
To be honest, I've still got my head of hair.
I know, yeah. It's coming though, Jordan. It'll be coming.
Yeah, to be honest, that's why comb over comes on, because I'm just trying to hide it. I'm not bent down my head because you'll see bald patch probably coming.
Is it dads or what's the relation?
It's my mum and his dad. So
right, okay.
a brother and sister. So yeah, that's the relation.
Nice one. Brewster last minute goal will feed families, says Beast Boy.
Hey, to be fair, he's coming to some good form, hasn't it? I mean, was it 7 goals in 127 appearances? And do you know what? If he gets I was looking, if he gets a goal, he'll match his tally from, is it 22, 23 season, three goals? So
you're preaching to converted here, mate. So that's wrong. Wrong one to go down. Matthew 1889 says, bloody hell, you three, giving me palpitations. I'm not ready to think about this one just yet. Let's just get work out of the way before my ring starts twitching. Okay. Adam says, come on, the Owls. Adam LUFC Coombs, it has to be said. Afternoon, guys. Hate derbies, says Chris. You need to get them nether regions checked, Jord, says Liam. Not entirely sure which part of the conversation I missed that on, but Phil says, hi, Jimmy. I hope you're well. Rob Holding should start on Sunday alongside Anel. Holding has played in some big derby games with Arsenal, especially against Spurs. He'll know what these games mean to fans. Rob Holding's got to start. He were immense the other day. Absolutely immense. Joe says, I'm not expecting an easy game, but I can't help but think we have too much quality if fit. I think if we come out of the blocks early, like we can, and get an early goal, it could change it all. Yeah, potentially. Will says, I think they should give us more fans in the ground as it's less of a journey for our fans from Sheffield than it is for their fans from Barnsley. Good lad, Will.
Hey,
good lad.
Jimmy, don't you have to drive past Hillsborough to get to the lane?
No, I don't go that way, mate. I don't go that way. Why would I? Matthew says, and that's why your chairman is comical. The best manager you lot have had in a long, long time. I don't think you'll get any arguments from James there, mate. To be honest. Or the majority of Wednesdayites. We never talk for an entire fan base, but it must be so frustrating. It must be so all banter aside, we'd be raging if Shu were on other foot. You can see that he's progressive. He can take you to another level if he's backed. Other teams can see that. That's why they want to come and take him off you. I think he'd have stayed if he'd have been given a little bit of support because he does seem to have a connection with club. Just you must be pulling your hair out.
I have.
Yeah, well, as soon as I said it, I thought, I shouldn't go down that road, really.
No, it's a bit of a touchy subject, that one.
Sorry, pal. Sorry. Yeah. It looked like Jord before Danny Röhl came in, but there you go.
Yeah, we were brothers. Yeah.
Paul says, perfect time for Leeds and Blades to gain some distance from Burnley. They have Egan Riley banned for 3 games. That's huge. No, they don't. No, they don't, Paul. It's been rescinded this afternoon. So, unfortunately for us, he's back in contention for them because he's a very good player.
Does that concern you a little bit, the amount of goals that they're now scoring, Burnley? I know they slipped up a little bit, but they were boring. They were 0-0 merchants, and now they have started to score a few goals. I think you've got to blame us for that, to be fair.
Yeah, I do actually. I do. I try and blame you for most things if I can. But yeah, it does concern me personally. I think Marcus Edwards has been a superb signing for him, and he's sort of unlocked a bit of confidence in final third for him because Jadon Anthony's now pitching up and scoring a couple. Josh Brownhill's been very good for him all season, to be fair. I think they like playing him as a 10, and he's contributed. I think he's their top goal scorer, to be honest. I still think they lack a number 9, which might give us a slight advantage. And I also think them losing the defensive record has made them a little bit more leaky. So, they're no longer impenetrable. So what they've gained at top at pitch, they might not have back. I still think we've got more than Burnley, if I'm honest. It's just navigating our way through these tricky games now. We've got a lot of similar fixtures coming up, to be honest. Jordan, any thoughts on Burnley?
Yeah, I think they're a threat, aren't they? We know that. And they're only 2 points behind. Like James has already said, come this weekend, we could be third. And then probably does feel like there's a bit more pressure on us. But I just think we do, them 1-0 wins, we do grind it out and we do find a way to win. And I just think it might be why 1 point. It might simply be 1 point, but I think we'll just have enough to get us off that line.
The thing is, it's that tight as well that if Burnley and Leeds win on Saturday or whenever they're playing, because I know they play before us, Burnley and Leeds win and we drop to third, we have to beat Wednesday to get back into automatics because a draw isn't enough. Even though we're level on points with Burnley, their goal difference is better. So, yeah. Yes. Anyway, sorry, Clarky was saying, evening, fellas. Unpopular opinion, I'm sure. Bigger picture is still the most important for me. Win at home, draw away, and we're sat on 96 points. A point, no injuries, no suspensions. I'm content. Up the Blades, up the Rambles. Not sure about that, Clarky. Not sure about that. Phil says, love this show. Well done, Jimmy. I hope one day Chris Wilder agrees to do an interview on here. That would be special for this channel. Watch this space, Phil. We're working on it. We are grinding and trying to get it done. Wilder attacks, we win. Simple, says Action Location. And thank you, by the way, Phil, for that compliment. It's conscious I didn't say that. But Wilder attacks, we win. Simple, says Action Location. Your cousin seems a decent chap for one of them, says Ian. I often put his pod on when I'm struggling to sleep. Wow. Is that a backhanded compliment? Is that is he frozen there, Jim?
Frozen, I don't know what's happened. He's probably shocked by that comment.
I know.
And he's decided to freeze at the wrong time.
Oh, he's back. He's back, I think. So, is he? I don't know. He's in S6 though, isn't he? So, Avril's laughing at Matthew because he said, you lot should be glad we stopped you bouncing. With the safety certificates in mind, stopping that bouncing probably kept a few bolts in and kept the rust bucket open. Oh, he's just messaged me saying his internet's gone. I'm sure he'll join us again in a minute. We're about to wrap up anyway, so if he doesn't, don't worry. Shea Charles maybe goes in front of Chowdhury, that's it. Yeah, Chowdhury doesn't in our first 11, is he, Nigel? I don't think, when everyone's fit. Not for me anyway. Ray says, not nervous, looking forward to it. It's a great occasion for all concerned. Both have something to play for, and George's cousin is an honest and level-headed owl. Shame for him that his lot will suffer. Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree on all points. Nigel says, that's all Piggies. That's all Piggies have us, is getting a point against a very good Bristol City. Good evening, Jimmy and George. Good evening, Upside Down Head. Wow. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Jack says, very nervous about this one. Not because of them, because of us. Okay. I know more is swearing. Well, unbelievable. Here we go. Back in 90s. There you go. Exactly. LA Blade says, evening, Jimmy and Motti, and the one in blue. Fark will be Blues boss after he struggled in the Premier League with Leeds, up the Blades, up the Ramble, chuff off Owls. That's probably a decent link, to be honest. Kelvin Goodger says, come on Wednesday, I need to hear Connor singing Ole Ole. Yeah, like that classy Meg said. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Good point, that, Ian. Good point, that. He's on about Wilder. I hope he comes back, because obviously we need to say thank you for his time and stuff, because he's just lost his internet connection, unfortunately. Alan says, Blades have a knack of winning these games, best away in the league. And no, that doesn't mean out in derbies. I'll go for a tight 1-0. I'll take that, Alan, all day long, pal. All right, lads, says Fran, cannot leave the space on the flanks against the Owls. They have some real pace out there, and we will get punished up the Blades. Yes, we will. Yep, their biggest threat is Gassama. Our defence needs to nullify him. Don't let him run at us, or we could be in trouble. And he's back.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, pal. Thought I'd lost you.
I might be back. Oh, you did lose me. I've had to put 50 pence in meter, but we've sorted out.
Yeah.
So it should be.
Are you live from Hillsborough?
Right.
Is that what's gone wrong?
No, I'm not live from Hillsborough. I've had to. I'm tethering now, so it might go off.
It's all right, mate. I feel your pain. This has been a Ramble nightmare until only a few weeks ago, so don't worry. Love the Pigs lineup, says Lee. That's where we are in comments. It's just nice to gauge where we are. All the best anyway, James, and fair play for coming on and taking the stick. He's gone again, hasn't he? He's gone again. Good health and all that, because it comes before football. But yeah, hope you're emotionally hungover on Monday at work, bud. And he's laughing at the trot line. How Wednesday's fans' aspirations have dropped over the last 25 years is lovely, says Lee. Absolutely right. James, if you can hear me, pal, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. I will let you get off. Very much appreciated. Here's the Wednesday Till I Die podcast, the main man over there. I know we don't listen to the blue half, but I know there's also a lot of us in our families who have a blue connection. Get yourself sorted out with their podcast. I can't bring myself to listening to it every week, if I'm honest, but top lad, and I appreciate him coming on in his time. Evening, Jimmy and George. I don't get why people are worrying. They're rubbish, and we have better players in every position on the field. They'll manage a shot on target. Will they manage a shot on target this time? Up all the Rambles. Liam, come on, Liam. We can't be so cocky before going to their place. They are going to do everything they can to upset us. In fairness, one up front doesn't work for us, and we haven't found the best position for Hamer because we started the season on catch-up, says Lee.
James has just messaged me. They're struggling with internet. He's put many apologies.
No problem. No problem at all. Oh, hang on. He's back. Hey,
I might be back now. I might be back.
You are back. We're back on properly.
We're on properly now,
mate. I was going to say, I've set her at you and let you get off if you were really struggling. But if you want to try and hang on, mate, you are more than welcome. More than welcome.
We're going to say to you, James, it's a bit like the old song you were singing in it. It's not about where Sheffield Wednesday were on our way back. Is that you now?
Yeah, I'm on way back. We're all good. We're all good.
John Shaw says, evening chaps, come here to support the Wendy's, marching on together. MDC says, come on, Blades, better players all over the pitch. Just got to play to our ability, and it's ours. They're crap at the back. Good manager, yes. That's sometimes all you need, to be honest. Grumpy Jack says, if we continue this poor form, we'll not beat Burnley, in my opinion. They're defensively solid, and when it's dropped a little, they've started to bag goals. Barnsley dial-up internet starts again, says Matthew. I know, pal. I know. Put a quid in the meter. Dublin Blade says, if S6 had scored 182 in the first half, 182, that's Burnley, by the way, in the first half, then things could have been different. Much easier playing against 10 men. Own goal, and ball, and out-of-play goals. Yeah, 182 are tearing it up. Yeah, I'm not convinced yet, to be honest. South Barnsley's not renowned for its signal. Too busy ploughing and snorting up potatoes. There we go. Cannon to get the winner, get £10 on it, says Matthew. Yeah,
that's £10.
Maybe
that's
so.
£10 lost. That's £10 lost there, right there. Might as well donate to charity, Matt.
Nige says Plymouth away has been moved to 12:30. Yes, it has. And the view from the mountain is that internet issues on a stream is not good enough. That's not a dig at you, James. That's a dig at me, because historically I have had a nightmare since moving into the studio here. I could not get it. I were on Wi-Fi and it just was not having it. So I'm wired in now, thankfully. So fingers crossed we're good. But mate, I just want to say thank you so much for fronting up and coming on. You knew you were going to get a little bit of it. I hope we haven't gone too harsh on you, because
mate, you could throw it at me. Like I said, I've got big shoulders. Know, it's fine. It's
I know.
It's what it's all about, isn't it? I hate it.
Oh no, he's gone again.
Unbelievable.
Such bad timing.
I know. Right. Should we let him go? We'll let him go. But yeah, he'll see this, I'm sure. We might not like each other's teams, but it don't mean you have to not like each other, does it? So he's a top lad, and I appreciate him coming on. Is he still? No, he's frozen. He's frozen. So yeah, thank you to James and the Wednesday Till I Die from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast for coming on. Jord, any final words before the big game?
Yeah, just not about the game. Just want to say for fans that are going to the game, unfortunately Wednesday they lost a fan, a 22-year-old called Daniel Scott. I think it was last Friday, and I think fans are trying to get around a minute's applause on 22nd minute. So if you're a Wednesday fan or United fan, pay your respects and just give him a round of applause on 22nd minute, and thoughts to his family as well.
Well said, mate. Well said. Absolutely, and I'm sure if we can spread the word far and wide, everybody will respect that. The one thing that we've shown this season more than any, and it goes deeper than football, doesn't it? And we respect both sides ultimately. And yeah, Sheffield comes together as a city with tragedies like that. So yeah, condolences to the family, and let's make sure we pay our respects and show them what we're about as a city. So what's coming up on the Ramble then? So we have got Chris Wilder's press conference tomorrow. That will be around 9:30. I'm expecting him to go on at 9 o'clock. So you can probably catch me about 9:30. We'll go live directly after, as soon as it finishes. Then I'm going to try my absolute best to do the QPR and Leeds watch along over on Behind the Ramble. Come on, you hoops, because this is before we play, obviously, and Leeds can extend the lead over us. We don't want any of that, because after this, on the Sunday, it's something that's definitely in the calendar and definitely happening. But I'll be flying solo for this next. George, are you joining me for this QPR one?
I will be. Yeah, I'll be on.
Nice one. It's not an issue as to whether I can do it or not, because I am doing it. I'm back at the caravan. That's the issue. I know you know this, George, but I'm just explaining.
I'll the other half, Liver.
Yeah, so I'm okay. I've got a pass and all that sort of stuff, but I'm on Sky Go, so I'll be delayed. So that's just the only kicker, which I'm not too happy about. But anyway, then it's the big one. We're having a watch along from 12 o'clock on Sunday. Come and join me. Keep me sane. Keep me going. And yeah, for those of you that have either got it on at home or aren't at the ground themselves, drop in, help me out, and we'll get through it together. What a nightmare. And then straight after that, no messing around, straight into 90 after 90. Directly after that, and then over on, that's going to be immediate reaction to the game. Following that, we'll be over on Behind the Ramble for Ramblers Call. So a busy, jam-packed Sunday. Thank you again to James for joining us tonight. Thank you to George for refereeing. I think you did a sound job, mate. We didn't tear each other's heads off or anything like that. We kept it very friendly. Appreciate that. Score prediction, George.
I've got to stick with what I said last night. Watch along, Anna.
Yeah, I think so.
So I said 1-1.
Okay. I'm going 2-1 Blades. 2-1. We're going to beat them 2-1, and we're going to go into international break with a derby double. And still it on to
fingers crossed.
Oh, mate. Banter aside, keep well, James, says Nige. Evening, gents. Good job. What will be, will be. Looking forward to a fierce contest and hopefully some quality. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Let's be having you. Right. That's a good way to end it. So thank you to everybody that's joined us in the comments. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards.
Up the Blade.